soon.
There we go.
And I believe that is us.
We are live.
Sam, you're up.
All right. What's up, everyone? It's Sam with Backcountry Live. Thank you for your patience. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. We're still figuring out life.
We're not the smartest people, you know.
We're figuring it out. And we've got Logan on the call. We got Richard on the call. And also Logan's brother, Sam, running all of our tech. Thank you, Sam. I know this is stressful. We appreciate it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the beta, some generators. But before that, comment below what you guys are up to tonight. Got anything fun going on? And we're going to kind of talk about some things that we've been doing lately. And really, I just want to tease Richard. So we didn't grow up being people that really ran for fun. Richard, tell us what you've been doing for fun lately.
Someone says it's double. What does that mean first? Oh, caught the audio early. So we never ran when we were little, but my wife signed me up for a 10K. Never run a race in my entire life besides like grade school track. And I am a champion, guys. I took second place in my age group. It was also like, if you guys know where St. George is, St. George is in southern Utah, and it's supposed to be nice and warm. It was totally freezing cold and snowing on us the whole time. So it actually made it kind of fun. But I think it's because I was like in my element, running downhill for a good chunk in the mountains. Like we're running in Snow Canyon while it was snowing. So I think I did better than I normally would have because, you know, everyone else probably didn't like the snow. So
what did you do to prepare for it?
Not much. My wife was like, this is why I hate you. You just show up and win. Now, that was in my age group. I took like 28th overall, which isn't bad. Or I don't even know how good that is, but it was kind of funny.
I think we should point out the obvious. You were running in Snow Canyon
in the snow.
You were surprised there was snow.
Well, St. George doesn't get snow like twice a year. And this was a couple weeks ago. So they shouldn't have snow. It was fun.
Hey, I lived there for a couple years. I know St. George, and of course, the one day, the entire time I lived there, it snowed one time and stuck to the ground. That day was the day we moved into our brand new house, and we're like loading furniture and going across brand new carpet, and that ice was slick on the cement. Yeah, very convenient.
Shout out to Brian, Sarah, and Garrett. I know, Brian, you're in Montana, right? Sarah, where are you located? And obviously, Garrett, longtime riding buddy, he's actually in St. George. He probably enjoyed perfect hero dirt after you left, Richard.
Sam was calm like, dude, how long are you going to be down there? I'm going to come ride.
Down.
Like, the dirt's going to be so good. It seriously gets so...
Chocolate cake.
Sorry.
I can't help it. I love it.
So,
all right.
What have you been up to, Sam?
What have I been up to? I'm working.
You got a truck.
I did get a new truck. A new used truck.
Sam has been truckless. He sold his truck when was it, fall?
No, yeah.
And anyways, he didn't get a truck and all some prices went crazy. So you've been truckless for a while, waiting to see what's going to happen. But yeah, so Logan, what are you up to, man?
Oh, editing videos mostly. Just getting a ton of videos. I actually filming a lot of videos, which we'll talk about in a minute. Nice. So, yeah, tons and tons of footage and more stuff to come, hopefully.
Cool. I almost missed this meeting because I had to go rescue a horse, actually.
Tell us what happened, Richard.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Well, Sam and I's mom and dad, they have lots of horses. They're actually curly, like poodle curly foxtrotters, so they're hyperallergenic. So go Google that. It's kind of a very, very unique, weird breed. Anyways, so my dad's out of town, so my dad called me like, hey, can you go out to the farm? There's a horse stuck in the fence. So the horse got stuck underneath a panel, and there was a pole there, and it just made it hard, so we had to dig the pole out. But luckily, the horse seems to be, it's up and walking, so luckily we think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to colic. So, but yeah, I almost missed this meeting. I had to hurry back and had stinky hands. And
I heard that was Jack. Was that Jack that
got
stuck?
Jack.
Oh,
It's like a curse, dude. All of our black horses, all my parents' black horses, always have bizarre things happen to them. So,
so real quick, while we're on the subject of Jack, because when we went on this hunting trip back in November
oh, that's
with
right. We
Sam,
went out to Colorado, right?
we went out to Colorado, and it gets after dark, and we're on these, there's cliffs and ravines, and it's sketchy. There's only one way back to camp, right? And there's four of us on horses, and it's pitch black, like we can't see anything, no moonlight, and we get to a point where we can't really see the trail, and Sam's like, just let Jack go ahead, like just I can't remember who was riding Jack. You remember, Sam?
It was John or you. No.
No, I think it was your cousin.
Oh, Blake.
Was it Blake? I don't remember. Anyway, and so we let Jack go ahead, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. He just puts his nose to the trail and just down this cliff on the trail all the way up and down the cliff and then back to camp. It was crazy.
Jack's a good horse.
Later that week, we came back in the dark again, and I was walking this time, hiking out, and Jack was in the front, and he kept pushing me in the back. And I wasn't going fast enough.
So we saved Jack tonight.
He's one of our good horses. So
I'll have to call him and check in after this, make sure he's okay. But he looked good. So
all right, so we jump into the beta. So if anyone knows me, I'm obsessed with dirt biking, obviously, and I keep talking Logan into selling his bikes and buying new ones.
The question is not what bike I want next. It's what bike Sam is willing to ride that I buy. So if I buy a bike, as long as Sam's willing to ride it, we're good. Which is like really any bike. Sam will ride anything. So
it's like an experiment for Sam. He's like, what bike should we have Logan try next? Logan's like, I want to try this. I'm like, no, you're trying this bike.
It really is. And Logan's first bike was a used CR 250 X.
Yep.
And then we went from the X to we got a great deal on a YZ 250X, which actually sounds super like the ECR, but it's the 2-stroke bike, and it's a ripper. It's a totally different bike. And then from there, Logan reluctantly decided to get the beta. So we picked this beta up. It's a 2020 Beta 200RR. You know, the beta comes with oil injection, so you don't have to mix any of your gas. Has electric start. Has a high and a low mapping for your traction, so you can have a little bit of adjustability. It has some Soch forks, which I'm not super familiar with. But the crazy story is, so we get the bike, and of course Logan's not there, and I ride it without him. What a good friend!
Sam and I picked up in St. George. Actually, we had to drive down to St. George.
Yeah, we drove all the way to St. George. Did we stay overnight, or did we just drive there and back?
I don't remember.
I
think we just drove there and back.
We picked it up, and the first ride out, we had issues with it. And basically what would happen is once it started, the whole motor would heat up. No matter if you were above second gear, it would ghost shift or hit a false neutral, what they call it. And at first I thought maybe, there wasn't, oil in the transmission or the gearbox or anything like that. So I changed that. I took it into some guys that I know that looked at it, and they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. And this time Logan comes into town and he rides it. And what happened, Logan?
Well, the first thing, like when it shifted, it felt like the first time I thought I'd accidentally just hit neutral. Like that's what it felt like. The ghost neutral felt like my foot slipped or something. But then I was more conscious of it and realized that it was doing it without. But yeah, we got all the way up the canyon.
Clear up it back in there.
And I'm going in third or fourth at a pretty good clip up this thing.
And you're standing up, right?
Standing up, and all of a sudden just almost over the bars, like nearly over the bars. In fact, the one time I was climbing the hill and I was in at least second, and I was climbing up this section and there's kind of a rock up and over. And when I hit it, it did the same thing, shift, and I came off the bike nearly again over the bars, but yeah, wasn't good.
Not good. So we were like, what do we do? I don't want to drive all the way to St. George. There's a beta dealer here up north in more northern Utah where I live. And so I took it out to them. And I was kind of frustrated to say, hey guys, look, it's hitting false neutral. I don't know what the deal is. Can you guys figure it out? Right. Well, they called me a couple days later and they said, hey, well, we have some good news and bad news. The bad news is we got to order parts from Beta. And the good news is Beta actually has a full warranty and they'll warranty the whole thing. And I think it's a year warranty, maybe even 2 years. Really,
and that's
impressive.
unusual, right? Because
all the other brands, once it's off the lot, sorry, no warranty at all. So they had to order parts in. They got it, and basically it was like there's like I don't know how to say that's like some teeth or a fork that when it drops down into the different gears and holds the gears, that was just kind of ski-wampus. And so they just replaced it. And now first time I went and rode it was out in the desert, and I rode it as hard as I could, and it runs really, really well. So why the Beta? So the Beta is one of the best hard enduro dirt bikes I've personally ridden. And the reason for that is the 200 motor is excellent, has lots of grunt. When you get tired, it doesn't feel like you're constantly just trying to hold on and the power's not ripping the bike out of your hands. The other thing is it has a lower seat height. So being able to plant a foot, do pivot turns, or do anything like that is excellent. I really, really like this. In fact, this Beta 200 is one of my most favorite enduro or gnarly single track riding or whatever you want to call it motors out there. What was your first impressions on it, Logan?
It initially just the seat, the cockpit area, whatever you want to call it, was super comfortable, very, very comfortable. Even more so than the Yamaha that I loved. I loved the YZ. That was definitely of the bikes, and surprisingly, I've ridden a lot of different bikes in the short time I've been riding, but the YZ was my favorite up to that point. And honestly, even with the issues that we've been having with the Beta, or we had the ghost shifting, until it was doing those things, it was my favorite. I could touch better because I'm only 5'9", 5'10" at the most, 175, 180 pounds. So it felt good. It was very easy to maneuver and handle. I loved it. I miss it. I want to ride it.
Rich, what was your impressions of the?
So I'm more of like a beginner. So more on the beginner level. And I ride a Honda 250 RX something.
Just RX. You're exactly right.
Okay. Sweet. No, but I liked it. It was now the 250 RX. I do feel like is a bit of a beast. It's bigger and bulkier feeling when I ride it. So when I rode the Beta, I liked how it felt nimble. It was a little small for me. I felt cramped when I rode it, but I felt super confident with like throttle, like, I don't know what you'd call it, throttle control or just driving around. Like as Sam's, his 250 two-stroke KTM, it was just too much for me. I felt a little uneasy with the power, whereas the Beta, I love. I really liked it. I just wish it was a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Well, Rich, you're like, what? Are you 6'1", 6'2"? Like, how tall are you? So, and then we have really long arms. And so the Beta is smaller. And so if you're a taller rider, you could feel a little bit cramped on it.
But maybe that's okay if you're out riding hard enduro, because like you could, like what you said, when we went and rode 5 miles of hell, I hated my 250 because I kept falling over because I'd go to put my foot down. There was a little hole or something, and I'd fall over. Like,
That's just
I probably wouldn't have done that on the beta.
well, and that's an unfair place to ride the 250 RX. It was not designed at all for
That was brutal.
5 miles of hell. So
Luckily, Sam, I actually loved. That's the one time I loved Sam's bike, his 250 two-stroke KTM, because I switched over to that and it just grunts up stuff. So I just like, putted up stuff. I could go slow like that. The low end on that sucker was amazing. Which the beta probably has a similar. I felt like it had the similar thing. That wasn't an option. We didn't have that bike when we rode.
Yeah, it does. It has really surprisingly impressive grunt. And Sarah asked Logan what his favorite bike is, and he says so far it's the beta. That might change when I decide this summer to sell his bike from underneath him. Something else.
And one thing to point
we
out,
forgot. I forgot you had, after the Honda, you had the KTM 150 XCW. I totally forgot to mention that. Sorry.
Yeah, I did have the 150, but another thing on the beta, we did push the handlebars out.
Yeah, so we
did move them forward a little bit to open it up. So it's a little more custom than just what it comes in standard.
You can't really see this, but it comes with 3 spots to mount your handlebars, and we're all the way forward just to give us a little bit of room. Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, this isn't I'm going to go a million miles an hour through the sand whoops or the whoops in the desert. That's not what this bike's designed for. That's not intentions that Beta has built the bike or a motocross track. But surprisingly, it still does a really good job. Is it as good as maybe some of the other brands or, the Honda, Yamaha, Cowies, or as far as the fast desert type stuff or where you really need to use the suspension? No, but little did I know, in 2021, Beta came out with a what do they call it? It's the it's the race edition, and the race edition has the KYB forks on it. So supposedly those are a lot better for going fast in the desert. So they have both versions. This is more for the trail type stuff, but like I said, this is probably one of my favorite motors. If there was things I could change on, I think I would work on the suspension a little bit and just get it a little bit, stiffer for me and that can handle some of the bigger hits. But like I said, it's Logan's bike, so I'm not going to touch it.
At least let me ride it once more before you get rid of it. Once while it's running properly. I still haven't ridden it since it got fixed.
Is it listed up for sale already, Sam?
Richard, you should be the one to be afraid. Like I'm going to sell Richard's bike from underneath him.
Hey, I'm cool with that. I wouldn't mind trying something. I love my Honda, but I think I'm ready for something different. Sam, what's your favorite bike? I think that was a good question. What's your favorite bike?
So my favorite bike would be the KTM 250XC platform. That bike I feel like is the funnest bike all around in every scenario. If I just rode like technical hard single track like Garrett does down in St. George all the time, a 200 bike like this or even the 300 XCW would be a better bike just because the lower end grunt. But if you can only have one bike, I'd have the 250. It has a more free revving motor. And man, it's good. It's fun. It's good.
In the sand, you'd want the 250 over the 200.
I would, because it just has more. It just feels like you're riding more like a 2-stroke of old, where it just makes a ton of power on top of the power band. So that twice, but granted, I've ridden plenty of XCWs out in the desert and plenty faster than my skill probably would allow. And the 300XE does great. It's just not as fun as a 250. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the 250, there's a secret. You usually can get them for a better deal than the 300. So 300 is kind of like the unicorn of all bikes. And so they go for a little bit more money.
Yeah. So I'm not a nostalgic person, guys, but I really miss the free ride, the electric KTM. I miss that bike. Like, it's like is your only bike, it doesn't work, like what we've
No.
talked about in a lot of our videos. But like seriously, I'm pining away for it. I think I might buy another one.
If we can find one.
I
Yeah, that
love
could
the
be a
free ride.
problem.
That
It
was a
was such a
blast.
fun bike, and it's a whole different experience. Personally, I hope one of the big manufacturers make a full-size electric bike like the Alta was.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
So
Speaking,
keep
what's
your
that?
eyes out, Sam. Find a free ride. Sam's our in-house, like Sam combs the for sale ads like 3 hours a day.
I don't
Every
work.
day. So Sam like, hey Rich, this is a good deal.
Go buy it.
Buy this. When you just tell you're on, I'm like, okay. Or if I want to buy something, actually, my wife texts Jen. Like, we just bought a new camper, and she was all texting Sam. It's like, Sam, anyway, find me a camper. So we found one, so I bought it.
There you go.
And I think I really would love to find a 2020 YZ 250 FX to replace Richard's Honda with, or a KTM 250 XE or the Husqvarna version of it. The gas, there's no really used ones yet, so I got to be patient to try those out. I also would like to ride the Kawasaki 250 XE just as a, bit of a fun bike, but those are kind of the bikes I'm interested in trying to find a deal on, but it's pretty hard right now.
Yeah, man. Hey, well, speaking of the electric bike and other things electric, there's something on your table there, Sam, that we just picked up. What do you got sitting there that runs on electric?
So this is a Ryobi generator. So if you guys don't know,
wait, is it Ryobi or Ryobi or
Ryobi? Man, I've been saying it wrong for years.
It depends on the country you're in. It depends on 100 different things. Every ad they have, I swear, goes back and forth between Ryobi and Ryobi. So whatever you want to say.
Okay.
So Logan runs and I help out some
with big help.
Yeah, we have another YouTube channel called Solely Ryobi, where it's just Ryobi tools, and if you guys are interested in Ryobi tools, go check it out. But this is a new Ryobi generator, and why did we buy this? Well, it has electric start, so you can start it. Right here's a little push button. But here's the crazy thing. So we already have one of these, and it'll parallel up to it. But this one will actually throw in a battery up here in the front, and then they have an app that you used to could just stop the generator and turn it off via Bluetooth. Now you can remote start and turn it off and monitor it.
So you can just be sitting in your camper, laying in bed. You want to fire up the TV and just you remote start it.
Absolutely.
Dude,
It's so nice.
And my Honda might run for a million years, but I think I might want to Ryobi. I hate getting out of my camper when it's all.
Well, Honda,
Honda,
their latest generation of your generators, they have the shut off now with Bluetooth shut off, but they don't have the remote start. There are other brands of generators that do have remote start, but because we run a Ryobi channel, we've got to try them out. And honestly, we've had really good luck with them. I know compared to the Honda, the motor and the power generator for electricity are bigger than what's in the Ryobi, but
yeah, quality. I think on the Hondas are probably obviously. I think they're superior, but yeah, we for the money, for the price. I mean, what was that one? $750.
$750. Yeah. What did you pay for yours, Rich?
Well, you have the Brain, which is I think they're different prices. So
one's like $1,200, $1,300. The other one's like $1,000. Yeah. And they may have gone up with the new technology they put in.
Can you buy it's just so stupid how you can't buy anything outdoors or generators flying off the shelves? Was that hard to get?
No, not off Home Depot.
Well, kind of. kind of, because I went on one day and it wasn't there, and I went on the next day and it was kind of back and forth. But they seem to be in stock now. Like they seem like there's more in stock.
Well,
Ryobis.
So what happened? I was looking on the Ryobi's website at the tools, and normally they do kind of like hey, here's a big product launch, which we covered it and blah blah blah. And I pulled up the generators because I actually been looking to get a second one because last year someone stole one of my generators out of my garage. In the middle of the day, it was annoying, but anyway. And anyways, I saw this, and so I send the link to Logan. I was like, Logan, have you seen this? And he's like, no. So he does all this research on it. So I think Ryobi hasn't told anyone about it. So no one knows about it. So maybe that's why.
This is Ryobi's big reveal right here. We are revealing it to the
world. We're revealing it. But here's the kicker. We've also got something else that we're actually probably more excited about than this generator. There's a second generator, and that one's in Florida with Logan. So Logan gets to show us what he got.
So while again, Sam found that one, and so I was like, okay, I'll go on, we'll order it, we'll get it shipped to you. And while I'm doing that, this pops up as a recommended item. And this is
always need to buy the recommended items.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Good.
Okay. This pops up as a 23 or an 1800 watt inverter, full electric inverter. So what that means is right now I can just turn this on, press and hold, and now I have the same thing that Sam does, but it's inside. No gas, no oil,
no
sound, pure, clean electric power.
And you can turn it on and off with the app.
And I can control it with the same app. And even better than that, it has the same parallel kit and can connect to any of the other generators. So this inverter, I can parallel to Sam's generators.
The gas ones,
and they'll work together.
So it's just like a big battery.
It's technically 4 batteries, 4 massive.
So like if I use if I switch that and use that instead of my generator, how long would that last?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
We'll find out.
Stay tuned. Subscribe, Rich.
Yeah, you watch the Ryobi stuff, Rich. They have a bunch of stats on it. It's actually pretty decent. And those 6-amp batteries are gnarly and they're expensive. But the cool thing about those batteries is they also go in our chainsaw, our Ryobi chainsaw. So tools that we have, they'll work with it. So it's a lot more multiple use than a standard generator. Now, obviously, you got to charge those batteries up. Whereas with the gas, you just put more gas in it. And so there obviously are some weak points to it, but using both of them together, I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah, I could charge it with one. Now, the real question is can we set up a bike to use those batteries?
Probably.
Because aren't people modding out? I think you were mentioning it earlier, Sam. I think people are modding out Yamahas and stuff to be electric bikes.
Yeah, but they're using the Panasonic battery that's in the Suron and a few other things in a big generator. But what a lot of guys have been doing is those little electric Jeeps.
No,
they've been pulling the old 12-volt acid batteries out and putting these type of batteries, and it's like
ion.
It's like making their power go up like crazy.
Oh, like the little rock crawler things.
Yeah, it's like those plastic Barbie Jeeps.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Hot Wheels.
The Hot Wheels.
What do they call it?
I know what you're talking about
now. Will asked which one's cheaper.
That's a good question. So yours was $750, right? Mm-hmm. This one was $799 with only 2 batteries.
How much are the batteries?
No, you didn't, because you bought the lawnmower.
So I bought the lawnmower too, and it came with 2 more batteries. So I have 4 batteries. I have 4 of the 6-amp hour batteries. What it says on the box, it says that 2 batteries can run a full-size fridge for up to 3 hours. So
that's actually impressive for batteries.
For a large fridge to run for 3 hours. So I think they claimed 8 hours.
So I could keep my 6-pack of soda. Right?
Well, and here's the thing, like, especially here in Florida, power outage, you have something that comes through, storm, whatever, you bring it inside and plug in your fridge or your electronics or whatever it is that you got to keep running. And you don't have to run a cord out the door and outside to a generator, or somewhere else. You can literally just bring this inside, the inverter, set it down in your kitchen, and keep everything powered.
You can put it in your tent, whereas you can't put the stupid generator in your tent.
And it's even got Steve. It's even got a light on taking a picture of us, Steve, and sending it to us. Well, and so Logan spent. So we make a little bit of money off YouTube ads and affiliate sales, like a little bit. And Logan just spent all of our whole year's worth of paid advertising budget or income on these generators. So go watch those videos and click on our links.
Yeah, and more coming, I promise. That's what I said at the beginning. Is I've just been editing like nonstop.
Logan.
Recently.
So Logan is like Mr. Toolman. He has pretty much. Would you say you have pretty much every Ryobi tool like that's relevant?
Here's the thing. They just came out in the last 6 months. I think they've had more innovations and more tools and higher quality than they have in the last 10, 20 years. Like, they've done so much. And they have 2 battery platforms, like 2 major battery. They got their 18 volt and their 40 volt. It's arguably impossible to keep up with every new tool and every new thing that they're doing. But I try. I mean, we've been trying. Sam's garage is filled with green tools right now.
I mean, they're hanging up on the wall. I've got them in my tool boxes. They're everywhere. He left half of them here because he was like, I'm just going to leave these old crappy ones here and get all the new ones. No, and if for those don't know a ton about Ryobi, they're actually a Japanese company. They've kind of got this crazy deal mostly with Home Depot, so that's where you usually would find them. And they're a quality tool for the money. And this last year they're taking a stab at being a pro tool. So
and TTI, they're actually in
that's
Carolina.
True. Yeah,
or something like
actually
that.
Owns them. Yeah,
they're actually like a lot of the stuff is like developed or whatever in
designed,
like here in the States. Yeah, I think it's North Carolina, something like that.
So Nathan says I love dirt bikes. I think he's giving us a subtle hint. Let's talk about dirt bikes. Shut up about Ryobi. I know you like Ryobi.
Hey, we need something to live on while we're camping out there in the wilderness. So what's next? Speaking of that, what's coming up next? What do you guys got?
If we can find a new Yamaha, if we can find a used Yamaha, that's next, hopefully.
Man, with COVID and everyone's stimulus packages that they've been getting, they've just cleaned house when it comes to all of our used market. They're like, Richard decided, he's like, hey, I'm going to get a new 110 for my kids with the, CRF 110 with the fuel injection. How long have we been on the list? Months?
Yeah, a couple months. And we found we called everywhere and found the shortest list.
Everywhere.
By far. It's like stupid.
Yeah, so Nathan Ton's like, that's why he clicked on. You missed it. The earlier bits were all about dirt bikes. But we're coming up on spring, which is obviously the best time for us here in Utah to start riding dirt bikes. It's good dirt. Mostly it's going to be in the desert. And so Logan needs to come out here so that he can ride his bike. If not, I'm going to sell it and get something. No.
I'll be there.
So right now on the Backcountry live garage, we have a 2020 KTM 300 XCW.
The Christmas bike.
The Christmas bike.
No, you switched out the graphics though. So
and then we have this 2020 Beta 200RR. And then Rich in his garage has the CR 250RX, and then Will has a Honda CR 450R and a CRF 250R as well. I forgot the F on the 450.
Will's itching to get out on the track this.
Yeah, there's a couple tracks. There's a new track here in Utah that's been built. We got to go ride. What we would love to do with all these bikes, like to give you some background, I'm just obsessed with dirt bikes. Will's obsessed with dirt bikes. Logan's now become obsessed with it. Richard rides because he just wants to hang out with this. I don't think he's obsessed with it, but we all have different riding levels. Richard's probably more of a beginner. Logan's intermediate. I'm intermediate to advanced. Will's probably an expert to pro.
Well, and Will's like, well, he's good at everything, but his specialty is track. So.
Oh yeah, it's like he's like, I've never even ridden like gnarly single track. So we're like, dude, come ride 5 miles of hell because we need someone else. I need 3 people just in case a bike breaks and we have to carry something out. I don't want to do it 2 people. We rode the free ride, and anyways, Will's like riding up the crux. He's riding up everything that most people fell out, and he's like, I've never even ridden stuff.
He rode my bike up everything. I walked up most of that stuff. I'm not ashamed.
It's not the bike, guys, it's the rider. But what we want to do is take each of the bikes we have, and then kind of do a, Richard's point of view, Logan's point of view, Sam and Will's point of view, but then go ride it out in the desert, go ride them on a motocross track, and then also mountain single track, and then just kind of give you our opinion on the bikes. The other thing that we do, Richard has a Can-Am, so we love to go out and ride that. I think Richard's going to have a couple trips. But other than that, I know some guys have asked us to review a couple things. A few people have talked about different oil filters for dirt bikes. So if you guys have like any feedback or like, hey, do review on this, I would love to learn more about that. If we can help out.
Have Will hit the track with the beta, see how it does.
For real, you might be like, dude, go easy. We don't want to blow all the oil out the top in the first jump.
At least leave it in one piece so I can ride it when I get out there. That's all I ask.
Awesome.
So yeah, so Nathan Ton says that he's got a KTM 350 EXCF, which is the street legal version. And he's ripping around the streets of Chicago. That sounds like a blast.
So, Nathan, do you have street tires on that or knobbies? Because would you have street tires on that sucker, Sam?
They'll come with a DOT approved tire, but you could put a street tire on it.
Nice.
Sarah has a bike that I want. Sarah says she has a YZ125X.
That'd be fun.
Try that bike out.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Came out with the 125XE this last year, which I really want to try out.
By the way, Sarah, next time, Will was supposed to be on the call, but he got on late. So he's in the comments, but he wasn't in the video. But his wife is sick at riding bikes.
She's
so
probably better.
We need to get her on and join the Campfire chat next time.
So. She's more entertaining than all of us combined.
Yeah.
So Nathan says he's got knobbies. Yeah, those are going to wear out fast, but hey, ride what you got.
So, cool.
Awesome.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Comment below. Like I said, if you have any things you want us to talk about or topics, we're going to try to do a YouTube live. I can't guarantee how many times we can do it live each month, but we're going to try to do at least 1 or 2 a month. And so if you guys have topics you want us to talk about, comment below. If not, Rich, Will, and Logan and Sam Jr. are just going to talk about whatever they want. And apparently I'm going to touch my nipples the whole time.
Yeah, we coached Sam not to touch his nipples.
I just need different shirts.
Last time, subconsciously, he was just like rubbing his nipples, so we had to help him out there.
I'm sorry. This is a
nervous
show.
It's his nervous tick.
It's my nervous tick.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See ya.